Welcome to the 2350 Effect.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to 2350 Effect. I am the co-host, Damian Kinsey, and I'm always joined by my co-host, collaborator, Dr. Tanya Farron. Dr. Farron, introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 2350 Effect. I'm Tanya Farron, co-host of this with Damian, also the owner of Creative Living Ideas, where we put on all sorts of professional development, and we have some fun publications for you. So happy to have you with us tonight as we talk about the power of networking, unlocking opportunities. So very excited to have this conversation with you. While you are joining us in the audience, please drop in your name in the comments. Tell us where you're from, say hello to each other, as well as participate in the conversation tonight. We would absolutely love to have your feedback and your thoughts and ideas as we talk about the power of networking. Damian, tell them a little bit about you. You're muted.
Yes, I'm sorry about that. Yes, I'm Damian Kinsey. I'm the co-creator of the 2350 Effect, the virtual wellness experience in upcoming October Work-Life Balance Summit. And I'm always joined by Dr. Farron. I have so many years of working in education, social services, and working in communities and families. So I'm happy to be here and be on this LinkedIn journey with you, having these conversations every Sunday on the 2350 Effect.
Yes, it is. Whether you're ending your week or you're beginning your week, we're happy that you decided to join and be with us tonight as we dig into a great conversation today. And you know how we start, right?
Yes, we always start the same way with a all right, laugh call text is that thing in the last 70 days that made you either laugh out loud, call somebody or text them. Um, Dr. Farron, what is your laugh call text of this
Oh
week?
my gosh. I've been thinking, right before the show, I start really thinking about everything that's happened in the last few days. And I've had a lot of really great things that have caused me to laugh. I'm so grateful for those people in my life that bring joy and pleasure in my life. But I would say probably today, we made some stepping stones with our family. We had the kids over for a birthday event, and we made these stepping stones out of concrete. And my one grand dog, Lucy, Annika wanted to put her paw prints in there. So it was kind of funny. We were giggling and laughing as we were hoisting her over there and squishing her paws into the concrete. And she was so good and she was so cute. And then we had to rinse her feet off, and my husband put it in a bucket. And it was hilarious. It was just super funny to watch her. She was very good about it. And now we have her paw prints forever and some stepping stones. So that's pretty fun.
That is so nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Thank you. How about you?
Um, yeah, my laugh call text is kind of it's funny. Um, I reached out to one of my former coworkers, a gentleman I supervised, and I was like, let me. Is your birthday this week or coming up? And then he laughed. He was like, it's not. It was February, but I did text him for his birthday in February. But I realized it was another one of my somebody we work with. His birthday was actually today, so I reached out to him and connected with him. So that was my laugh call text. You try to catch up with people, make sure you stay reaching out to them, and we was laughing because we was like, no, it's in February, and then I was like, and then it triggered my brain. I was like, oh, it's such and such birthday. He was like, how is that person doing? And it kind of caught up. So that was my
That's
laugh.
always nice. I love that. You're so good about that. I think those things are, we've had lots of conversations about texting or phone calls. And I think, just the thought of remembering people and sending them a quick message, I think is so nice. Even if you have the wrong day, it's okay. You at least showed you that you thought about them, right?
Yes, so much. Yes, I agree.
Absolutely. Gosh, we've got some great people in the audience. Thank you, Jackie, for being here. Melissa, great to see you. Lisa, Fevic, thank you so much. Hi, Christy. Yes, it's family time. It's Sunday. Richard, thanks so much for joining us. He is our Go Brunch person. So if you're interested in Go Brunch, check him out. Omar, thanks so much for being here tonight as well. And Tom, thanks for here from Canada. Thank you for joining us. Jakaria, all the way from Gambia, the smiling coast of Africa. Sounds like a beautiful place. And Barbara Morton, thanks for being here from Kansas. I'm coming in from Missouri. Damien, you are coming in from
New York City. And hey, Linda, how are you as well?
New York City. Nice. Jackie's last call was to you, Damien, today.
Yes.
Nice.
Me and Jackie I was going to pick Jackie for my live call text, but that other thing stood out to me. Me and Jackie had a good conversation. We were talking for a long time today. Those people who know me and Jackie did Finding Your Purpose, which is our first rooms that we did, and also Wishful Wednesday, and we got a chance to catch up. And it's like every time I talk to Jackie, it's like, no time has passed. It straight picks up. And it was a great conversation with Jackie.
Oh, that's awesome.
The power of networking.
It is, right? It really is. The power of networking is amazing. And then you get to be friends. And that's the best part about it, right? So much more to it. So let's think about some of these things, about the power of networking. So those of you that were with Damien and I at the Virtual Wellness Experience, you would have been able to see our presentation on networking, but we'll go in and talk a little bit about some of those topics today so that you can hear a little bit about it. But we really have enjoyed doing networking, and we've been building and networking together with other people and really finding some great tools and resources for you, some different ways to be able to do that. And so we wanted to make sure that we start talking about networking a little bit more. And so just so you know, our show is on Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. Central Time every week, except for some holidays. We've got some days off, but we've already got planned out most of the rest of this year for our topics. And we'll be sprinkling in networking about once a month so that you on this professional platform on LinkedIn can continue to network and grow as a professional, as well as, like we just said, you and Jackie have become friends, not just, networking, but became friends and started out with networking. Same thing as you and I, and so many of other people that are even in our network. So that's super important to know. So you can also grow as, just a person by doing certain things. So excited to talk about this. So aside from, our networking events, well, I guess I shouldn't say aside from our networking events. It doesn't have to be. So what was one of the most impactful networking events you have ever been to, Damien?
So I've been to a few impactful networking events, and it's funny because I thought about it this week. I have this mug that I got from Johns Hopkins. So I went to it was more so this educational workshop. It was a week-long education workshop. A person that I was out in my network invited me to it. It was invite only. I went to it, and it was a great experience because they got me to understand the broader picture of the level of what education is, what's going on in education, and how people try to work on developing supports for education, how it impacts communities. So that was something that kind of stood out to me, and it was something that was on my mind this week.
Mm-hmm. So when did you go to that?
So I went last year, top of last year, January-ish.
Mm-hmm. So what was what about that? I know the topics, were relatable to you, but what about that event that made you?
So the thing about it is, like, we connect with so many people, but I got a chance to see the person who I'm connected in the network in their space and their environment. So I had a different appreciation for that person and what they do. And I did get to meet a lot of different people and people who I still connected with.
Mm-hmm.
So the good part about it is, I know where to go for certain information if I need it. And then it also gave me an opportunity to actually, you know, connect the digital dots to the in-person dots. And a lot
Yeah.
of times we meet people socially and on an internet, and we don't really connect with them, or we meet them out and about. We get their card, their numbers, and we don't really connect much with them. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I was able to have a conversation on a bigger level about different things. And she gave me some kind of feedback and pointers, and she was telling me some stuff, and it was good information that I can actually take forward. That
Mm-hmm.
actually still use to this day.
Okay. So I want to say, I just as a back of a history, I feel like for me personally, being in education, so those of you that didn't know, so I started out as a teacher in Missouri, and I see a St. Louis friend in here, Guy Pierce. I'm near St. Louis as well, so in Missouri. But I started out as a teacher. And honestly, there wasn't a lot of networking events really for teachers. You would go to some professional development, and that was empowering and exciting and fun and thrilling, and you did start to meet some people, but that was on occasion. It didn't happen often. Professional development within the district didn't really give you a lot of networking opportunity. You were just learning something that one person was particularly presenting. So for me, the experience of networking and having LinkedIn be available to me was really new as of 5 years ago. I would really say 5 years ago, my whole world changed. So I left public school that I was principal in at the time and started working for a different company called Stride. Well, my world opened up as I was learning about people who were in education across the United States. And so that really opened my world. And then opening Creative Living Ideas and being on LinkedIn and attending different events and also putting myself out there opened my world to networking. So with that being said, those of you that are in the audience or that are listening, I just kind of shared like 3 stages, right, of where my networking began. Very small unit inside my organization as a teacher, to coming and being like United States, to now being able to be globally networking. And so think about, where are you? Are you just kind of local, or just learning it in your area? Are you kind of branching out a little bit more? Are you feeling like you're more global? And so I think that's important for you to think about. So that's the first thing I want to say. But the most powerful networking events that I've ever been to, I started to going to some women's networking organizations. And I was really learning how to have conversations with other people and connecting and bringing that along with me as well. So absolutely love joining some of those events that are, female only. That's kind of fun sometimes to just, get to know other people and what are they doing. So I've enjoyed that very much. But I also, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I've also enjoyed a lot of the networking events that we've started creating with the 2350 network. And I think
Yeah.
that's important to talk about today.
Yeah. So I kind of jumped and put
You're
it up
good.
there
You're
because
good.
you were going into it, segueing perfectly into it. Speaking of networking and events, we do have the Family and Friends Day night tomorrow in our virtual campus. We are the flyers out there, the posters out there. It's on my page. It's also on Dr. Farron's page. And this is a gathering in a space where we are inviting family, friends, and individuals to come join our virtual space. This is hosted by the 2350 Network, and it's just a space where we kind of chill, relax, have conversations, do a meet and greet real quick. It's a good networking opportunity, and also we talk about the network and show people exactly what is going on in the network. This is a free event, so if you want to join us on Family and Friends Night on the 2350 Network, please reach out to myself and Dr. Farron. We can send you the link where you can sign up and come to the networking event, which is tomorrow at 8 p.m. East, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sorry. All right. Anything else about that? Did I miss anything?
No, just let us know if you want to come and we'll drop you the link. and come and join us for this event. It should be fun.
Yes. So if you see this flyer, that's exactly what this is, Family and Friends Night, which is tomorrow in our virtual campus space.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay.
I love seeing all of these comments in here. Thanks, Nick, for being here today. Appreciate that. Global Media, thank you so much for joining us today as well. Yeah, networking is about opening doors. Thanks, Guy, for sharing that personally and professionally. Build your brand, getting help, building referrals. Lots of great expertise in here. Yeah. Yeah, there's just so much to learn if you are just kind of branching out into the world or wanting to expand even more. There's so much to learn. So join us for that Friends and Family Night and you'll learn more about it. I love that. We've got people from all over that are in our network and they have so much to offer. And it's so fun. I would say, when we're talking about impactful networking events, Damien and I have been in some of our 2350 network events. And when we watch our members connect with one another and then kind of just like skyrocket off on new projects together, like that's really just inspiring and exciting to watch happen. And it's just, it brings me joy, complete joy, because that's the whole purpose of the network.
So when you was asking that first question, I started to go with our Leadership and Lemonade conversation that we had last month, but I was like, nah, it's too much home cooking and doing that. But that was a really great conversation. It was really great because we kind of unlocked some stuff with each other and thinking from different spaces of, what is it like? What do you need in your company? Where you're at in your professional life?
Yeah.
And we had that conversation. It was like, we was talking and a couple of us like, oh, I didn't think of it like that. When I think of that question, I think of other people, but in my situation, it does apply. And,
tell them what the question was you asked.
You
don't want to share? Okay.
So the question was talking about what do you need more right now in your current business or life? A CEO or a CFO if you had to start your own business?
Oh, that was 2 times ago.
Yes.
Yeah,
and we were talking about the startup of starting your own business. And the conversation went to, I didn't even think about the fact that I'm in my current situation and do I need a CEO or CFO? And what is more important for me? Is it more important for marketing? Is it more important for networking? Is it more important for getting sponsorships? And that conversation came to play. And, some of the members a lot of them own their own business, but some of them weren't even thinking like that. And when we were having this conversation, it kind of unlocked that. And that was the good part about, we have these Leadership and Lemonade conversations every month. And those people don't know, Leadership and Lemonade is a twist on how leadership is being done from a lens of, just like the lemonade stand, that level of basic leadership on a high level. So it's bringing basics to high level leadership. So we have that every Saturday at the end of the month, and we have these conversations. We had a good one last Saturday. There was it was last Saturday or 2 Saturday. We had it, and everybody was outside that day.
It was terrible. I know.
But we still had it, and we were doing it, and everybody was outside who was involved and showed up to it. And the great part about networking is creating opportunities where people can actually come to it, and you don't have to come to everything, but you create
and wherever you are.
Yes, you create opportunities for people to come and share in and out, be a part of it, and get something out of it. And it's also, we have these things that go on all types of days and nights. And I think that's important when it comes to networking is you have to figure out what those opportunities that blends into your personal life, your system, your space, and where you can actually hold. You can't go to everything, but you have to pick and choose where you can go, when you can go. And, you don't have to stay for 3 hours at a networking event.
No. It is beautiful. Like our events are at this point in time are all virtual, and that is a really beautiful piece about it. You come and go as you please, as you need to. And we were all outside doing. I was fishing, y'all. I was fishing on a boat and said, "Time for me to take my network call." How cool is that? And jumped in and not in the water, but jumped in on the call, and maybe that should have been my laugh, call, or text, because I think I remember one of our members being like, "Where are you?" As I'm sitting on the boat. But just had the best time ever. And it's so fun. You can just jump in and join. And I learned so much from that. And that was that time before I was actually at a softball game and joined through that. And it was super great, a great conversation, so much to think about. And as Christy said, I grow more and more each event. I do too, as well. I love it. It's so inspiring and so thought-provoking, and it's amazing. So how has networking impacted you, Damien?
I think it's changed everything, the landscape of everything for me. I think my lens changed, the way I view things, opportunities, interactions with people. Like networking is so important and key. Every situation is an opportunity to network. Even with the people you see every day is an opportunity to network and build relationships. So I think it's changed for me because it's opened me up to such a broader audience, and I've gotten to meet and know people who are amazing that I wouldn't probably have known otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I agree. So in the chat, let me know, how has networking changed, or how has networking impacted you? I would love to know from you, how has networking impacted you? And I can say the same thing. Like, I feel like I have just such a different outlook on networking, as far as really building relationships with other people and getting to know them. I have no hesitation to connect with somebody and say, "Hey, let's get together for a quick chat. Do you have time to get on a call today or tomorrow, or let's just chat and tell me about you?" Because I think I always thought networking you had to be in it for me. I had to be in it for you. So like, I was only really going to talk to you if I needed something from you, or if I thought you needed something from me. If that makes sense, right? But that's not really what it's about. So it brings so many people into your life, and I may just want to be your friend. We might just be friends, or I might be able to connect you to somebody else. I feel like I do so much more of that. Like, "Oh, you need to meet so-and-so. You need to meet so-and-so." And I love that piece about it, is really kind of being a connector of other people. And I think that has really made a difference. And I love, like, supporting and helping each other. I remember being scared. So those of you in the audience, if you're listening, to put yourself out there, or to, get into an organization or a networking group. And there's all kinds of them, there's ones in person, there's ones for just women. I'm sure there's some for just men. There's some for just businesses. I mean, even if you're thinking about, there's a parenting networks, right? There's, I build parenting networks. There's church groups that have networking, groups that, you would be a part of. So think about all the different ways that you can go in and you can network with other people. Like, there's so much that you can do, and it's fun. There's so many ways you can do that.
yeah, there's definitely so many ways you can do that. Networking, and like you said, a lot of it is like, the traditional way is I meet somebody so I can get something from them.
Right.
And I think it's changed, especially being on here, and I see so many people like Leslie who does it, Jackie, Melissa, Nick, who's on here, Christy, and who have shifted the landscape of traditional networking and building those relationships with people.
Mm-hmm.
And saying that, okay, here's somebody who you should be connected with, you should know,
Yeah.
and say, hey, meet this person, become friends with them, get to know them, reach out to them, have conversations with them. And I think that's so important. That shift of, I guess personal networking has changed from, just keeping it just business and
Well, and you know what else I want to say? Like, there are certain, like, let me go out to this. I have certain groups of friends, right? I have my golf ladies, I have my high school friends, I have my lifetime friends that I call that live in California that I met when I was 5. Like you have those, and then you have your family, right? Who are family members that are friends that you get along with. But there's times where I want to talk professionally, because you know what? That really inspires me. Like that gets me excited, when I'm talking about, a potential new project that maybe you're doing or I'm doing, or a collaboration with somebody else, a new idea. Like that's exciting to me to be able to do. And so I absolutely love that. Now, my other groups, they may not want to talk about that. They want to talk about golf, or they want to talk about our kids, or they want to talk about, there's different groups that want to have those conversations. And so in the networking, I feel very comfortable being able to share and talk about and ask other people their ideas or thoughts about what I'm wanting to do and getting some brainstorming going. So I absolutely love that piece about it as well. You know what I mean?
yeah. And you brought up a good point. Like knowing your audience and what group you can bring what particular stuff to is
Yeah.
so important. And then having that level of like, I have these friends for this friends for that group for that, and we can collaborate that. Like you have a golf networking group. Like I do golf. You also do book club, right? Still?
Yes.
Yeah. So that are those the same groups?
No, different
And they
ladies.
don't have to be.
Right. They
That's the
don't.
good part about networking.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we're part of the network, the 2350 network. I don't go golfing with you.
No.
I'm not a part of that other book club that you're a part of. So that's the cool part about it,
Right. Yes, I agree. I love
I
that.
see this opportunity for information and also being able to reach out and share information and exchange. First things first.
Yeah.
And build that relationship.
Yes.
So cool.
Yeah. It was like, I'm just going to go back to the time when we finished the very first Work-Life Balance Summit. Damien and I had not even started the 2350 network yet. He had just kind of signed in to help me out on the Work-Life Balance Summit, maybe a month before the summit. And he called me afterwards. And this is the power of networking. Of course, my mom wanted me to do good because she's my mom. Of course, my husband wanted me to do good because he's my husband. My kids wanted, but when you called me and you were like, well, how do you think it went? And I was like, oh my gosh, it was amazing. I'm so excited of how it went, and I could really just tell you, and we could really talk about the work thing. You know what I mean? That was exciting to have somebody to just really talk about how well it went and what we wanted to do next.
I definitely think it was a great event. Can you pull it up for me? I just want to walk our audience through something.
What am I pulling up?
The web, the 23 not the 2350, the CLI website, because you made me just think about something when you were saying that.
Y'all, I asked him if he wanted me to have anything up, and he told me no. So
hey, that's the best things when it jogs your memory and it
is true. It is true. Hang on, I'm trying to find. I have too many tabs open, so I'm trying to go to the right. Oh, good Lord.
And Leslie, this question depends on you. You might need more than one networking group. You might not. People have their different groups.
Right. It is so true. It is super true, Leslie. That's just how I break down my stuff. That's how I break down my stuff. So this is Creative Living Ideas website.
So can you go to Work-Life Balance?
Okay.
Does it have the first one there on this one? Or you archived it?
I updated this, but it does have the old video that we had. from previously since we don't have new presenters yet?
That's 2024, not 2023.
Right. I don't have the original.
All right. So go back to the top one. All right. So this one is coming up in 2025, right?
Mm-hmm.
This year. So the first one was how many presenters?
Oh, I had like 12, 10 or 12
So
people.
12 presenters. It was on a Saturday, and it originally was supposed to be a work-life balance summit for women. Am I correct?
Yes, it was just going to be for women.
So let's go to the old one, the last year one. So this is what networking does. Like, and that's why it's so important to have people in your will that champions your cause, that champion for you, and it's not about it's not about them, it's for you. So when Dr. Farron called me, she said, "Hey, let's talk," or texted me. I said, "Okay, I got time to talk." So we met, we talked. She told me the idea. I thought it was a great idea, But now I'm thinking about doing it for a bigger audience. I have so many men that I work with, and I'll be around in my network, and I want to expand it to that. So this was supposed to be a women's summit. This is the second one with all these different presenters. And if you go to their page, you see these people, these individuals. They're so involved in their particular level of business, and they're from so many different industries. Think about somebody having an idea and a thought at the top of the year for something at the end of the year. And it starts with, I'm going to do it one way, and then it shifts and changes. And that's all about like networking and having people to have those conversations with and say, hey, I want to bounce this idea off you. What do you think about it? And will you be able to be willing to support me? And I think that's what it's really about when you're having these networking groups. To answer what Leslie was talking about, do you need so many networking groups? Sometimes you just need so many other individuals to network and have conversations with and bounce it off. And I'm quite sure, Dr. Farron, you talk to other people. Do this during this process. And I think it's important when you have people who are not going to drain your energy and also disrupt what you're trying to do because they're not included about it, or they feel like they're being left out. Because when she texted me and we spoke, I was like, just do it, whatever you need. And it had nothing to do with me originally.
Right.
And I think that's what networking is about. You need to gravitate and find people in your network, in your orbit, that can actually champion, support you, and go through the process. And how I got a part of it is because I saw how I was like, this has to be a heavy lift. This has got to be a lot. And I was like, let me just help and support. And then we just started having a conversation about the Virtual Wellness Summit. So,
yeah. I want to add because I had an idea, and it always starts with an idea. Like, and when all of a sudden you get that, I have an idea right now. I'll grab a notebook and I'll just start writing it down so I don't forget. And I had the whole event planned for the most part. And so I went ahead and I started calling a couple of people. I reached out to a few people, asked them their thoughts. Would they be willing to do this with me? Yes, absolutely. Talked to Damien. I said, I'm thinking about doing this as a women's event, but I want to add you, and I want to add this guy, and I want to add that. And so I don't think I want it to be like that. Okay, great. Well, then the point I'm getting to is that the platform and how I was going to actually execute this event was nowhere near where it started, where it ended and where it started, because Damien said, oh, you need to go talk to Andrea. Wasn't it Andrea? And she did this event. She did this event on Zoom events. You need to go talk to her. She'll tell you. And I mean, and it just went from talk to this person, talk to this person, talk to this person. And it pulled off and ended up being just an amazing, spectacular event. So, really, really great things happen when you start sharing with like-minded individuals. And so I want to go back to that conversation, that piece up there that Leslie said, do we need to have so many of these groups? You don't have to. You do what you want to do. but I kind of group these people together, and that's where I have my conversations about golf. My book club girls don't want to talk about golf, but my golf girls want to talk about the shot where I hit the tree and it bounced back behind the tee box behind me, and la 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 la, so yeah. But I do, and that power of networking and being able to do that is amazing.
And I forgot about that part with Andressa. And
Yeah.
even that was, I honestly am not I am a Teams person, not Zoom.
Right.
And when I went to that event with Andressa, it was a sickle cell anemia event.
Right.
And I went to it and I saw it and I went to go support. Like, I didn't call her, I didn't text her, I didn't tell her. Like, I just wanted to catch her off guard. And then I came in and I was like, wow, this is a virtual workshop. I've been to in-person workshops. You've been to in-person workshop. This was a virtual workshop. You can go, and it was so many components. And then I was like, once you said that, I was like, you got to talk to her. I'm going to connect you with her. I didn't sit in the meeting with you and her. I connected y'all on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And once y'all responded, I took myself out of the conversation. And I think that's what networking is all about.
Right.
It's so important to have that level of networking in place. When you can, like, you gotta want the people around you to win, and I think energy dictates a lot of things.
Yeah,
and you could have just been like, I'm not even gonna call this guy. I'm not gonna reach out to him. I'm not going to listen to her. I got this idea. I got this plan. I don't want too many people changing my vision.
Yeah,
and it wasn't like that. You were open to whatever, and I'm just seeing it grow and grow. And when you were doing it, and I was like, this is going to grow. Let's not be caught up in the whole what is it looks like now. What is it going to look like 3 or 4 summits from now?
Yes.
And here's the third one coming up right here.
Yeah.
Work-life balance. So kudos to you for putting the vision of putting this together.
Thank you. And I appreciate the support of so many people, like even, we had so much feedback from the events and ideas and things that we put into place. And it's been really amazing. So networking has just been so powerful. I mean, it's truly been powerful in my life. And I know for so many people in the audience, it has been networking has been very powerful.
And one quick plug, you can get your tickets to the Work-Life Balance Summit now. The early bird special is on. Get your tickets early. They're I believe they're $75 for the early bird special.
$75 for both days.
So,
yes.
Yeah, for 2 days. Get your tickets now. It is definitely a quick event. Jackie has brought her team to it a few times. Her whole entire team has been there. So get your tickets now. I'm not sure how long the early bird special is going to last, but get your tickets now for the Work-Life Balance Summit at creativelivingIdeas.com. Also, okay, did I miss anything else about the summit before we go back to our questions?
No.
A few questions. Okay, cool. What is one of those icebreakers that had stood out for you at a workshop or a networking event?
Oh my gosh. Just so you guys know, Damien is like the king of icebreakers. He always comes up with really, really great topics. And so I love when he does that. I don't know. I feel like I like it when we, do an icebreaker over like something that, really lets you get to know the person a little bit and kind of breaks the ice, right? For everybody to start feeling comfortable with one another. I love like, would you rathers? Would you rather have ice cream or would you rather have lasagna on a hot day or whatever the case might be? I think those are really helpful virtually. I think those are good icebreakers. I think when you are in person for different things, I think when you put like a project together, where maybe you put a bunch of tools on the table and you have them create something that go along with that, you start seeing the roles of everybody together start taking over, and you learn so much about the people physically at the table, their body language and their skill sets and who's going to take the lead and, that sort of a thing. I like that in person. How about you?
I always like the ones when they break you up in teams, and then sometimes you got to do nonverbal stuff. The one that stuck out to me was well, the one that probably came up the most, but it's easiest to remember is, you know how they do the birthdays. So you got to line up in order of birthdays,
Yes,
but you can't tell each
without talking. Yes,
other.
yes.
Yeah.
I tell you what we did one time with my staff that was so fun. We talked about, because we were actually, a few of us were having a conversation off to the side about books. Did we like digital books, paperback books, and would we write in them or not write in them? So we had 4 categories of topics, and we had 4 breakout rooms because we work virtually, and people could go to those 4 breakout rooms depending. And let me tell you, the writers in the book and the non-writers in the book were very outspoken, and it was hilarious. Like they had to come up with why theirs was better, whether it was a paperback book or a digital book was better, or writing in the book or not writing in the book was better. And let me tell you, it had some hilarious reasons why theirs should be the way you should go. And I love those as well, breaking people off and finding that. I think that's super fun. What are you guys like in the audience? Thanks so much, Linda, for agreeing with me, belonging to several groups where you can discuss different hobbies, work matters, interests. You have a writing group, cooking, and a cooking group. Oh, I need to find out more about that. And a support group. Super important. I love that. I love that. Excellent. So tell us, what are your favorite icebreakers or activities that you can do with your networking organization, or just, at work that you do, things like that?
Yes. And while people are thinking about that, what got you into networking?
Oh my gosh. I was trying to find a
Matter of
job.
fact, not even okay. That was a good answer. All right. Mine was to find resources. And my last question is, how does networking digitally and in person change for you?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you, a long time ago when I got my first job, I didn't have, we didn't really network. There wasn't a whole lot of networking that happened that you knew about. You weren't really encouraged to do any networking. And so once I transitioned out of my job to get this new job, I didn't know how to network at all. And actually I had to learn from my kids, because they were like, you need to do this, you need to do that. And so I took the leap and have just really enjoyed it since then. So yeah. So you got into networking for resources.
I've noticed that a lot of my friends who I know who are in like stable careers, like teachers,
Yeah.
they don't really network.
They don't. We don't know how. Agreed.
Is that because you're such a stable profession in that the people, like, you're in a classroom setting,
Yes.
so and
Yes.
networking always seems about, like, the traditional form of networking is to get a job, right?
Or to grow your business, right?
Yeah, but it's expanded so much
So much.
beyond that.
Yes. Well, and I think too, like the important thing for a lot of people building and finding networks are for people that work from home too. They become silos or islands and they feel very isolated. And so having an opportunity to go out and network and talk to other people, even virtually, can be very stimulating for people. And so I think that's also has changed what networking is. And LinkedIn, like I probably signed up. How many people have we talked to that said, oh, I signed up for my LinkedIn account 10 years ago and just now are getting back into it, because networking has even changed on LinkedIn in the last 5 years.
Yes. And thank you, Leslie, for putting out your icebreaker. And
Yeah.
thank you, Tom. And
Yeah.
it has changed, resources, connections, information
Mm-hmm.
is also a part of networking as well. I know we're close to the end.
They are.
We are looking for speaking of networking, we are looking for individuals for the Work Life Balance Summit. If you want to be a presenter of the Work Life Balance Summit, message myself or Dr. Farron, and we'll be happy to walk you through the process, send you the application, and review your application for the Work Life Balance Summit as well. Thank you, Jonathan, for joining us. And lastly, if you want to be a part of the Friends and Family Night, message myself or Dr. Farron. We happy to let you know about that. Reach out to anybody who's part of the 2350 network. If you are friends and connected with them, and you can come to that as well. But we don't end anything here without having a quote. So we always close with a quote.
Always. I love quotes, and I think that they're important. I sort of look at them sometimes as affirmations, things like that, that you might think about, or that they might make a lasting impact on you. And so I'm going to stick with my old trusty. If you go to my LinkedIn page, you'll see it on as a banner on there, be the change you wish to see in this world. And that has really been my mission for a long time, is to, be a positive person, put out positive content for other people, be a friend to people, spread kindness in this world, and just really be that change that I wish to see in the world. And so I try to live by that every day. It's just a great reminder for me. How about you, Damien?
I like that. So during our conversation when you were talking about building a work-life balance summit, this popped in my head. It starts with an idea and it ends with implementation. The idea can't stay in your head. It has to actually come to life.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
All right. So with that said, thank you all for joining us. We will be in our virtual campus tomorrow for Family and Friends Night. Join us. Get those reach out to us. Come join us. It is free. So reach out in the messages, and we would love to have you here. And join us the next week as we have another conversation on the 2350 effect. Thank you so much, everybody, and just have a great night.
Bye, y'all. Have a good one.
Bye.
Thank you for attending the 2350 Effect. If you are interested in becoming a guest or a sponsor, please contact Damien or Dr. Tanya. Join us every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the 2350 Effect.